at surface area of a rectangular prism, but we're going to really focus on a formula to solve it instead of intuitively looking at the shape. So we'll talk about the shape, and I've already labeled the shape, okay? There's technically 6 sides, and I've kind of drawn it so it's transparent. You can see through it, but it's a 3-dimensional object trying to be drawn in 2-dimensional space, so it's really hard to draw and to visualize. But imagine this is kind of like the front of it, right? So if this is the front, that means behind. That would be the back of the shape, okay? And if we go into our 3-dimensional shape here, any of these can be the front and back. Let's just start with what we got. We'll do this one in blue. If that's the front, that means that's the back, okay? So we got a front and a back, and they're the exact same measurements. With that being said, we also have a top and a bottom. So let's label those. We'll make our top in yellow. So top and a bottom. Okay, so we have front and back in blue, and then we have a top and a bottom in yellow. And then finally, we have our right side and our left side. Change those colors, maybe make them red. So a right side and a left side. So you can see that there's 2 reds, 2 yellows, and 2 blues. Hard to see as we're spinning it all around, but if we make it a net, okay, it's a little easier to visualize this thing, right? The 2 yellows are the tops, they're the same area. 2 reds were the left and right, I think we said, and the blues were the front and back, okay? So now that we have that, that's great. We know that there's going to be 6 faces, okay? That can kind of help us explain our formula here. I've called this the length, this the width, and this the height. But it doesn't matter. I could have called this the height, this the width, this the length. It doesn't really make a difference with a rectangular prism because it all spins around as we saw on the other page. But what it does do is it helps us build a little formula here. Okay, we have 2 times the length times the width. Well, the length times the width takes care of the bottom and the top. So when we find the area of one of them, we just multiply by the number of 2, or the number 2, because we know there's 2 of them, a top and a bottom. So that gets rid of the top and the bottom. The length and the height, well, the length and the height, here's our length, so that's the front and the back, okay? So the front and the back. We do find the area of the front one, so length times height, we get it, and then we multiply by 2. We multiply this by 2 because there's a front and a back, and then we've taken care of the front and the back. And then finally, the width and the height, that's going to be our right side and our left side. We find the area of 1, and we multiply by 2 because there's 2 of them, and we've taken care of both those sides. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We know from our other page that there's 6 faces here, so that makes sense. That's taking care of all 6 faces. But instead of us having to visualize each of them, we can just follow these rules really quickly. So let's find the measure of everything. This bottom here looks like it's 3, 1, 2, 3. So we'll call it 3 centimeters is the length. The width is hard to visualize because it's 3-dimensional, so we'll call it 2 centimeters. And the height is, here it's easy, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 centimeters, okay? So now that we have that, we can just strictly plug directly into a formula, okay? Let's plug right in. 2 times, well, we know the length is 3, so 2 times 3. The width is 2, okay? Plus 2 times, we already know the length is 3. The height is 4. And 2 times the width is 2, and the height is 4. So this formula, if we, whoops, not the height is h, the height is 4. This formula, if we follow our bed math correctly, will give us the exact measurements. So we're going to do some math here on the fly. 2 times 3 gives us 6. And then times 2 again is
12.
12. So all of that together is 12. 2 times 3 is 6. Times 4.
24.
Okay, so all of that together is 24. And then 2 times 2 is?
4.
Yeah, times 4?
4 times 4. Wait, what?
4 times 4?
Oh, yeah. 16.
There you go, you got it. That's okay. Sometimes I stumble too. So, we got those 3. Those are our 3. And now we just add them together. I'm going to tell you that 24 and 16 is 40. Plus 12 is 52. So it's 52. And remember, it has to be centimeters squared. Okay? But 52 centimeters squared. And I don't know if you remember, we did this question right before. And That's exactly what you got. So a formula is sometimes easier, or sometimes it's easier to like kind of visualize the face of the shape and look at it that way. Whichever you're more comfortable is the best one to really use, okay? And what we're going to do quickly, just to help out a bit, I'm going to take a picture of it, picture of our shape, and we'll label it on this page. Remember, I think this was our top, bottom, with the blues front and back, I think. Front, back, and we'll just say left and right. Okay, and there's our 6 faces. There you go. So we can kind of look at it all together.